Okay, over here in my drum corner, not only do I have an LED that is dying, and I can't quite reach it, so we'll get to that in a minute. I have my electronic drums, and I have a tablet that I play music on, and this all goes down to here, to this little, just a cheap little Mackie board, and then I plug the headphones into this. That's all I use this for, is it's basically just taking the sound from this and the sound from this and combining it to go into headphones. The problem is, when I want to take something from the console and bring it over here, I have to unplug stuff, I have to play around with stuff. I never really liked it. This is basically a 2-channel mixer. Like, it's just kind of a little garbage mixer. I don't even really know the point. But tracks 3 and 4, you don't really have a whole lot of control over. So basically what I wanted in a mixing board was I wanted 2 channels from the tablet, never mind the light, 2 from here, and then I wanted 2 from the console to go in here, and then I wanted to be able to kind of control like the lefts and the right sides and the volumes of each individual channel and all that other business, have it all pump out through the headphones, and then I can turn it up and down with one slider or a knob or something like that. It doesn't have to be fancy. So as is my my happy fun time stuff that I like to do now, I went on to TEMU. This calls itself a professional 8-channel mixer. And look, there's 8 channels, there's an effect channel, there's an MP3 channel, because apparently you can plug an MP3 into it, and then there's mains, there's a tape input, there's a headphones out. We have pretty much everything we need to plug in. Now, the thing about this is I don't need it to be top quality. This is monitoring only. I'm not recording anything that goes through this. So if there's a hint of noise or if it's not exactly perfect, I don't care about that. But I thought it would be fun to plug this thing in and test the quality of it and see just how it feels. So let's unbox this thing and have a look. I don't really have a great place to do this up here, so we're just going to do it on this chair. It arrived, as many TEMU things do, it arrived all crushed and mashed, so hopefully we're okay. We have a crushed box that contains a USB to dongleoid jack thingy. Is that all this runs off of? 5 volts? It's thin, it's heavy, it does have some weight to it, it's metal. The brand is Cooyinka. This slider feels a little crunchy. I guess they all do. Knobs have a little wiggle to them, but you know, it's pretty par for the course with this stuff. We'll turn all the gains down. We'll mid all of our EQs. PFL button. There's a phantom power button, AFL button. And our inputs are channel 1 through 8, ins through XLR or phono, main outs through XLR, phono. We have an effect send and return. And this has like an effect unit in it or something. We have a control room left and right. Headphones, auxiliary send. So here's an auxiliary send. That's kind of cool. So we can send to an auxiliary and return it back through a channel or something. And then we have tapes in and out. And the tape input is this knob right here. Auxiliary MST. Is that might be, oh, auxiliary master, I'll bet. So this controls how much is going to go out your auxiliary send. And then this is how much is going out from the particular track. That makes sense. Side panels are pretty nice. It feels good. It doesn't have any, you can't torque on it or anything. Let's plug it in. I guess I need to find a thing for this. says input 5 volts, output 12 volts. Well, we'll see about that. Okay, I think we'll set it up here, and this gives me access to some stuff. Let's plug this guy in. We got power lights. That's a plus. I have some speakers up here. Let's just go out of the mains first. I don't know what the difference between the control room and the mains are going to be. Okay, first thing I'm noticing is PFL is lighted. This is the pre-fade level. Maybe it's just always on. None of these feel like they're on. Well, this one? No. Phantom power? No. Turn the phantom power off. They're going to fade out. Did I just permanently turn on phantom power? It'll probably start to fade out. Let's plug the Juno 6 into this. Okay, so we're going out into this one. We'll give this one sort of a middle line. Are all of these down? All of those are down. We'll go up a little bit. Let's do a little thing. Can't tell if the little distortion is coming from this. Could be these speakers. These are kind of crap speakers. So I thought that this one had an effect built into here, but it looks like this is just, quiet you. Looks like this is just for an MP3 player. Some of them have a little effects thing in here. But that's kind of cool. I didn't really need the effects, but it looks like we have 2 ways to send out. So we can do a FX here, which will send it out of this FX send and return up here. And then we have an auxiliary send, which is just goes out here and doesn't come back. By way of just routine, when I send out of an effect on any console, I never return it back into the effect return, because I want it to return to a channel where I can mess with the EQs, the faders, the left and right and all that. And when you return it back into the effect send, every board's a little bit different. Looks like it comes back to this knob maybe. I don't know. Oh, there is a delay repetition pan. Oh, let's try this. Okay. Maybe there is a thing. Effect up. Honestly, I don't... Oh, this is down. Okay, effect up, delay, repetitions, pan, I should be going that way. So make a difference, but I don't know what the difference between their control room and their main out is. Well, I've got a noise though. That's annoying. That's coming from just the board itself. Everything is down. Is that coming out of the headphones? Headphones. Oh! What the hell? Look at this. It's almost like it's feeding back. What the hell is causing that? My plan to use, let's turn all this shit down. It's like something's feeding back. I don't know what the hell is going on. Let's turn all these auxiliaries down. And then turn the headphone up. I'm still getting it. But look at it. It's like it's feeding back on something. I don't understand. When I take that out, it goes away. But we don't get that through the main out channels. So as headphones, you hear it just... Oh, that's unfortunate. See, this is what's confusing to me, is that PFL is always on, but it's not always on. It's not on. We can't get that to turn off. That should go on and off with... That should go on and off when these are depressed to show you that one of these is pressed, right? Just like a solo button or something. You should get an indicator. So something with this circuit, I think, is busted. That's unfortunate. Well, there you go. That's what you get for buying a little console off of TEMU, I guess. You get exactly what you expect. Okay, something just occurred to me. It is acting like it's not getting enough power. Really, when you think about it, like the quirkiness, like it's being strained. So let's unplug this guy. And this is just a little, oh, that's hot. I was powering it with this little adapter. This is what it comes with, right? Little USB, but it does say that it's input 5 volts, output 12. Oh man, this is really warm. I don't think this is stepping up the voltage that we need. It'd be interesting to test this. I have proper 12 volt here. So let's turn our speakers off first. Let's plug this guy in. And then let's turn it off. Hopefully it doesn't blow up on me. Turn it on. We got nothing. Why for nothing? Polarity wrong? Oh, it came unplugged. There's your problem. Let's try that again, shall we? On. PF, look at this. No device. This is off. That might have been the problem, I'm going to guess. This is weird. It's like only half of that screen is showing. All right, let's try that again, shall we? Let's go into this. We'll turn our speakers back on. Let's turn these down. Am I still making noises? PFL works now. Look at that. Okay, good. Headphones. Okay, that's working. Oh. Okay. Headphones and control room apparently are the same. This is your headphones is your all right, let's do this. Turn that off. Let's move these guys over. Okay, let's turn that down. Turn these all the way up. Let's turn the high frequencies all the way up on these two channels. So there's nothing going in. Let's unplug this guy. Do that. We'll turn all of these high frequencies up. And then I'm going to move the mic over by the speakers. Can we hear the difference? I can hear the difference. So, it's got noise. All of our gains are down. All right, the noise is coming from the gain. A little noisy. It shouldn't be doing that. So little noise. This control room headphone thing is a little weird. Like, I don't know, whatever. Let's plug this back in. Oh, let's try our FX now. Send this over to the other speaker. I've got these backwards. Hold on, that'll drive me nuts. Okay, let's plug this guy in. Audio out. And we'll go in 1 and 2 here. And we'll pan these left and right. We'll set these to mids. We'll set these about midway. Those. We'll turn all the effects and stuff off. Turn off the attacks. And then we turn this back up. Where's our delay? So I will never be using the effects. I don't care about that. We've got the other issue figured out. It is kind of weird that headphones is basically the control room. So the control room output and the headphones are the same, so there's no individual output. The pre-fade level, does that actually work? Did we try that? If we have headphones plugged into it, we should be hearing that. Yeah, there we go. So pre-fades go through the phones and through the control room. The pans seem to work fine. Gains are sort of fine. I'm going to assume that these mic preamps are garbage. We'll just take that at face value. We didn't try the MP3 player. I'm never going to be using that. Although I suppose if I'm using it for drums and just practicing, I could do it here, but it's easier on the tablet. You know, overall, for a monitoring mixer, it's probably fine. Now that we've got the power thing all figured out, this thing that they send with the device is garbage. So this is not going to get you anywhere. It was really hot too. So it was struggling to bring the power from 5 volts to 12 volts. So don't use that. Get a proper power supply with this. So that ups the price a little bit from your $110 or $15 or whatever I paid for it. Canadian, probably cheaper in the U.S. Maybe not, because you have import taxes. You have your special Trump tax. So maybe it's more expensive there. Don't know. Don't care. The EQ range seems workable, but not musical. If you were just using this, well, for what I'm using it for a little monitor mixer, that's going to be fine for that, because you don't need to do very much with your EQs to kind of dial in especially if you're just pumping it to headphones. You don't need to mess with this very much. Pans left and right seem fine. It is noisy. The amp input seems to be a little bit noisy. The mic preamps, let's just go ahead and assume that they're going to be tinny garbage. So what do I think of my TEMU little mixing console? how do I rate something like this, really, at the end of the day? It once we passed the power hurdle, it performed adequately. It's not a high-end board, right? It's just a little cheap thing. But for the price, honestly, that little Mackie mixer that I'm using over at the drum thing now, that was about the same price as this. And I did look. My original thought was to get like a little Behringer or a little Mackie mixer, just something cheap that I could handle all of my mixing needs. And I was finding that they were much more expensive. And I was like, well, let's look at TEMU and see what TEMU's got for me. And I found this thing. And I was like, it's worth trying. You know, why not? It's not in the signal path. It's monitoring only. So if there's a little bit of noise, it's not going to kill me. I'm not going to mind that much, because really it's just for monitoring what I'm playing along with on the drums, whether it's coming from the console or whether it's coming from just the tablet for practice or something like that, right? And it's going to work perfectly fine for that. I'm going to be perfectly happy with it. One of the things I was thinking about the other day, I was looking online, I think it was on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw like 16 by 4 boards, and I saw a 32 by 8 board, Tascam boards, you know, older things from like the early 80s. They wanted like $300 for those things. Now, that's bigger than what I would need in here, right? That if I had more room and if I needed it, yeah, I'd grab one of those over this thing. Because why not? They had far superior mic preamps and routing and everything else in them, but I don't need something crazy like that for just sitting and doing drums. But I was thinking about it, and I'm thinking, you know, when I was first getting into music, and this would have been in the early 80s, and I started getting into electronic music, my dream board was like a 16 by 4 board, right? That's something that I think that I could plug everything into, but they were like thousands, and I couldn't afford that. So my very first mixing board was not really a mixing board. It was a PA by Custom. It was a basically 6 by 1. It was a monophonic little board. I think I have a picture of it here. And very, very basic. It had for the EQs, it had a high and a low. I don't even think it had a mid. It had a monitor one that would send it to a different output. And then it had your mains out. So you had, I don't even know if it had a track input gain, because it was intended as a PA, right? It was for microphones and stuff. I used that as a mixing board. I was recording onto cassette. So I'd go from like the Moog to the Custom, out of the Custom into a cassette deck. And it was going in mono because the Custom was basically mono. But then I figured out, oh, it had a reverb. It had a spring reverb. That's right. I figured out that I could actually do stereo by doing the main out as left and then this monitor out as right. That would, I had a couple of extra little knobs that I had to fiddle with, and you had to kind of work on it because the main had a little bit more, I think a little bit more high end. It's been so long ago, but I made it work. That thing was like, at the time it was, I think $200. I mean, it was a powered head, right? So it wasn't just a mixing board. It actually has a powered head, and it came with speakers with it. And we used it for vocals when we were practicing. And when people came over to jam or something, that's primarily what we used it for. And then later I used it for recording and stuff. Well, for both. When I upgraded to my first actual mixing board, my world changed, because now I had routing options, I had effect sends, I had all this other stuff I could do with it, and it was fantastic. And I think today, you know, you have people just starting to get into music, and they're doing it all in box, and they're kind of, I don't want to sound like okay boomer, right? Because I'm Gen X, but I think there is something really cool about, if you're doing like especially electronic music and you're messing with a bunch of synthesizers, that's hard to kind of keep it all in box without some sort of mixing surface. But for the price of these things, like a 16 by 4 board, a pretty good board, like an old Tascam board from the 80s for $300, dude, jump on it, do it. I mean, that's fantastic. And then you could do, like what I've got going on here is I treat my DAW specifically as a tape recorder, right? I don't really use plugins. I have a couple plugins that I use, but I don't really. I use it for automated mixing, channel control and stuff like that. But basically I'm outputting from this board to the AudioFire 12s. And those are just, each one of those is 12 audio in and 12 out. And I can plug anything into these boards. I can play around with routing. I can get really wacky and weird, or I can be very straightforward. And I don't know, I don't mix in box, so I don't know if that's something that you really have that flexibility. I know that there's routing options in box, and there's a bunch of stuff that you can do in box, and you don't have any signal degradation. But half the fun of working in the analog space is signal degradation. You get some included warmth, you get some limiting aspects. It's not always crystal clear. You have to kind of fight with a little bit of noise, and that alters your sound as well. I mean, it's just fun, right? For me, it's fun. I like working in the analog space. For someone getting into this, they're just starting out. They have next to nothing. They have maybe a couple of cheap keyboards. They have a little drum machine, a guitar or something, a couple of microphones, and they're using a little like Scarlett 2 input type device. Including this, just this cheap little board into the mix, opens up a lot of possibilities, man. Because you can go your main ounce to your Scarlett, and now you have a whole bunch of stuff coming in that you can mess around and tweak and twiddle with and goof around with. It's actually more like a line mixer actually than a console. So it doesn't have like I can flip my channels on my inputs. On the big board, they can come back from the tape. There's a little button at the top, or whether it's coming from the inputs or the tape inputs. So I can record, like the Juno can go out of channel 1 to the DAW. I tell it to go out of the DAW through channel 1 into channel 1 on the board. And now all my settings are exactly the same. Like my EQ settings or anything that I did, all my effect settings and stuff are all set up the same. So I don't have to repatch all that and remess around with that. This doesn't have that capability. But just for getting stuff into the box, yeah, pretty cool. You might have to fight with noise a little bit. I would have to play around with this a little bit more to see just how brutal the noise is. But like a lot of things, if you keep your gains down and you push volume as hard as you can into the device and keep the device gains and stuff down, like you push it in as hard as you can before it starts to distort, then you dial it back a little bit, you could probably avoid some of the extra noise that this is going to introduce. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, it's worth $100. I fully expected to want to like drop kick this thing, but it's not too bad, really. It's heavy. It's built fairly well. I'm wholly surprised, to tell you the truth. I would have been actually pretty pissed off if I didn't figure out the power thing. I was about going to end the video until I was like, let's feed it actual power. It does seem like it's being starved power. So that's all it was. $100 mixer off of TEMU. Do it or don't. I don't care. Do what you want. But I'm going to keep it.